What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. Kicking ass, taking names, and motherfucking taining. We're gonna do a Dominaria United Black set review today for limited and constructed. Let's just hop right into it. Liliana of the Veil. Wow, what is there you can't say about this card? The things that this thing does in constructed is just insanity. Insanity. This is the first 3 mana planeswalker that was busted, and it will always be busted. I mean, I don't know if it sees play in modern, but it probably might see a little bit here and there depending on the meta. Probably good in. This brings it into Pioneer, which is a big deal, I think. Can open up some new fun decks and do some stuff. All right, let's get to limited. In limited, this card is always good. The being able to, it's not is like I mean, instantly game winning type of card, but it is a great planeswalker. If you're on the play and you can play this guy on turn 3, it's real. And you have like you played a 2-drop that can be defensive, make them sacrifice their creature that they played on 2, attack into them, do some damage, have people start upticking. You know, it's a very powerful card and probably first pick every time. Um, let's keep it moving. Shieldred, I like this Shieldred a lot. Death Touch, whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. So this card is going to do a lot. In Constructed, I still think it's pretty good in Constructed because uh, they are going to deal with it on their turn, probably. You play this on turn 4, say go, they draw, they lose some life, they have to kill it. 1 for 1, they lost 2 life. But if it gets, like, incidental life gain isn't what's important, like, in Constructed, I don't think. Like, it adds up, alright, fine, yeah, but the fact that this is a 4 mana 4/5 is pretty big. That's a huge ass. Um, and a huge ask to kill with just like a singular card. So I think in constructed might see play maybe 4 out of 5 potential. In limited, it's a house 5 out of 5 without a doubt, no questions asked. All right, Cruelty of Gix. This is one of those sagas you get to pick where you start. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker card from among it, that player discards. For 5 mana, that's kind of a lot. We're so far. Search your library for a card. Put that card into your hand. Then shuffle. You lose 2 life. So it's puts it in your hand. What is this? Grim Tutor. And then put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. All right. So over the course of this card, it's pretty good. I would say in limited, this is probably a 5 out of 5 because you're gonna hit a creature out of their hand. You're gonna then get the best card out of your deck. Like a 2 for 1 card, which just makes this even more valuable. And then you're gonna bring back the best card from a graveyard into play. Very very powerful card. Probably 5 out of 5 in limited. In constructed, I don't think this will see play. 5 mana is just very clunky. Maybe like a 2 out of 5 potential in constructed. All right, next guy, a Cleric Lord, 2 mana 2/2 Cleric Lord. Not a legendary, worth pointing out, so you can play multiple of these guys and they're pumping each other. Sacrifice another cleric, search your library for a black creature card, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. Straight into the battlefield? Wow, that's pretty powerful. 5 mana is a lot for that effect, but, you know, mm, I would say in limited, it's probably all right. Probably like a 2 or like a 2.5, depending on what the big busted black things are. It doesn't seem like there's a lot in like really expensive. The most expensive creature card in black is 5 in this set. It appears. So that's actually interesting to note. Huh. Imagine, like, so if your opponent is playing black, their deck is probably pretty low to the ground. Just saying. So, yeah, limited, not going to be anything. It's just it's just a generic grizzly bear probably most of the time. So, very mid. And constructed has potential. Potential could be high. Execution probably won't happen though, so I'm gonna give it like a 2 out of 5. If it does get played, it will be for not for this cleric thing. It will be for getting Gristlebrain in play in modern or something like that. All right, drag to the bottom. Each creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is 1 plus the number of basic land types among lands you control. So this is a new type of mutilate. Okay, constructed and limited, this card's going to be good. In limited, it's probably a 5 out of 5 because you're going to play like 3 colors. You control when you cast this, so you're just going to be like, all right, yeah, I get a 4 for 1, or you have a couple creatures in play and get like a 5 for 3 or something like that. You can play bigger toughness creatures that survive this. I think it's quite powerful and limited. You can also make attacks. You're like, all right, do this attack that looks weird, and then they block, keep their creatures alive, and then you drag to the bottom everything. They block with their 5 toughness guy on their 2/2, and you're like, okay, clean it up. Limited 5 out of 5. Constructed. I mean, it's been a long time since Mutilate has been good. If they made Mutilate, probably wouldn't even be good. And this card is different. I don't know. I would say potential. Maybe I'd say 2.5 out of 5. It probably won't see any play, but if it does, it will be a very strong card. It has the potential to be a strong card. All right, Defiler of Flesh, 4 mana, 4/4 menace. Okay, all your black cards gain the Phyrexian mana, and whenever you cast a black spell, target creature gains +1/+1 and gains menace until end of turn. Okay, that's really strong. Limited, 5 out of 5. Like, this is a really good card in limited. In constructed, I mean, it has potential. 4 mana, 4/4 menace is pretty good, and then the fact that you're making all your black spells cheaper the rest of the game, and you can like give a second creature menace, so you're attacking with 2 menace creatures, so something's getting in. I would say a Phyrexian Horror, maybe 3 out of 5 in constructed. All right. Oh, a new Braids. Cool. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent sacrifices one that shares that type. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life, and you draw a card. Okay. So if you want to sacrifice a creature because you have a creature that wants to go to the graveyard, and they don't have a creature in play, they still lose 2, and you're going to replace it by drawing a card and having the trigger of the creature die, whatever. I'm going to say this card is a constructed and limited powerhouse. I'm going to say 5 out of 5. Yeah, this seems very, very powerful. Because you can play this on 3. If you're on the play, at the beginning of your end step, you sacrifice a land. Now they go down to 1 land. Each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type. If they don't, they lose 2. Okay, so they don't have to. They get to decide. All right, that kind of changes my evaluation of this card. I was about to be like, there's no way this card's this good, right? Okay, I'm gonna bring it down a notch. Still very powerful. I'm gonna give it a 4 in both formats. The fact that your opponent gets to decide is pretty tough. If you sacrifice a enchantment or whatever, and they, most of the time you're sacrificing lands or creatures, right? They're probably not wanting to sacrifice one of theirs because they are not the same type of deck that you are that wants cards to go to the graveyard. So they're going to end up. Basically, this is going to draw you an extra card and lose 2 life at the cost of you sacrificing something. And you may sacrifice. You don't necessarily have to sacrifice something yourself either. So I'm going to say this card's a 4/4 both places. All right, the Raven Man. 2 mana, 2/1. At the beginning of each end step, if a player discarded a card this turn, create a 1/1 flyer. This creature can't block. Okay, each opponent sacrifice or discards a card, activate only as a sorcery. Alright, this card seems pretty good. So, yeah, it inherently causes your opponent to start discarding cards. This is like a huge threat in limited. You play it early, they're just going to be like, oh, fuck, I got to deal with this guy, or they're going to get rid of every card in my hand. This card's very good in limited. Probably 5 out of 5. I mean, the power level is so up there. And in Constructed, the fact that you cost 4 mana to just have them discard one card, or 4 mana after you've already invested 2 mana and a card just to play a 2/1. In Limited, I think this card's less good. I'm going to say a 2 out of 5 in Constructed. Alright. Evolved Sleeper. 1 mana, 1/1. This guy can become a 2/2. If it's a cleric, put a death touch counter on it, and it becomes a 3/3. And then if it's that thing, put a 1 counter on it, then you draw a card and lose 1 life. Huh. So it becomes a 4/4 death touch that drew you a card and lost you 1 life. I mean, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, that's not very good. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. I think this card's pretty mid. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5 in Limited, and probably less, even like a 2 out of 5 in Constructed. Cool concept, just don't think it's quite strong enough. Stronghold Arena. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life for each time it was kicked, so you can kick it twice, okay? So you could 4 mana, gain 6. Whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you may reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to its converted mana cost. Whenever one or more. So you can't trigger this multiple times off one card. Yeah, I think this card's pretty bad. I mean, Limited, it probably has higher upside because you're going to be getting in there more. In Constructed, I'm going to say 1 out of 5. It's not really good in Constructed, I don't think. And in Limited, 3 out of 5. Cool card, cool idea. I don't know if it will work out. Alright, another one of these sagas you get to pick. You may sacrifice a creature. If you do, each opponent discards a card. Ugh, that seems pretty bad. I have to sacrifice a creature for them to discard. Return to each card from your graveyard to your hand. Target opponent may sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. They may. If they don't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. This card's not very good. Limited. In Limited, it's better. You just choose 2 and do 2 and 3. But in Constructed, it's just not good. I'm gonna say in Constructed 1, in Limited 3 out of 5. You get to return a guy from your graveyard, and then they basically aren't going to sacrifice something, and then you lose 2 and draw a card. Oh, they lose 2 and you draw a card. So, yeah, that seems pretty strong and Limited. Yeah, I'll give us a 3.5. I like this card in Limited, but in Constructed, I don't think. Okay, 4 mana, sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this was kicked, you gain life equal to its mana. Otherwise, you lose that much life. Oh man, what a swing. Constructed, there's just better options, you know, so 1 out of 5 in Constructed. And in Limited, I was gonna say reasonable, but I don't even know. It's like kind of a lot. I mean, if you want to pay 7 mana and do it, it's pretty good, but that's a lot of mana. I'm gonna say 2 out of 5 in Limited, and 1 out of 5 in Constructed. Okay, here's a Defender. A 2 mana 3/3. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creatures with Defender you control. That's pretty good. It's like a Defender that can actually be aggressive. I'm going to say in Limited 1 out of 5 because, you know, that's reasonable. And in Defender, in Limited, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Pilfer. 2 mana, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. 2 mana to pick one. You know, Thoughtseize is just better. Thoughtseize is in most formats, so I'm saying Constructed, this is a 1 out of 5. And in Limited, it's also 1 out of 5. I mean, it's okay. I'd rather hit 2 cards, you know? Like, I'd rather just mind run, let them pick. I don't know. I don't see myself playing this in Limited. 1 out of 5. Okay, Occult Conspirator. 1 mana, 2/1, enters the battlefield tapped. Return from battlefield. From the graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only if a non-skeleton creature died under your control this turn. Okay. This card seems quite good. Constructed seems good. 3 out of 5. This effect's been used before. 3 out of 5 in limited and in constructed 3 out of 5 in limited. 2 out of 5. I mean, it gets the block. You can. It doesn't say sorcery speed. Yeah, I'm gonna say 2.5 out of 5. Seems playable and limited. And black does look fairly aggressive, so I could see it actually being higher. Time will tell. Ah! All these stupid things are all gonna pop up. Okay. Monstrous Warlich. Blah, cool card. 4 mana, star. And it's the battlefield. Mill 4 if it was kicked. Power and toughness equals the number of to the highest mana value among cards in your graveyard. Whoa. This card is good. This card is good. In limited, right? You're like probably getting a 5/5 or a 6/6. You're hoping, so that seems pretty good. And for 5 mana, I'm gonna say in limited 3 out of 5, and in constructed, 4 mana is a lot. You could probably do better. I want it to be higher, but I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5. My initial thoughts were like, "Ooh, this could be strong. You could do some fancy shit with this," but I think in reality, it's not going to see any. If it had like menace, or fear or something, they don't do fear anymore. If they had menace or flying or something, I think it would be it would do this card so much good. But don't think it's good in the way it is. Cut down. Destroy a target creature with total power and toughness 5 or less. If it was 6 or less, it would obviously be insane. 5 or less makes it constructed. Still good. It's instant speed. Constructed, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Has high potential. Definitely, will most certainly see some play in one format or another. In limited, it also seems pretty good. For 1 mana, you're going to be killing most creatures. Well, not really most creatures, but a decent number. I'm going to say the fact that it's 1 mana and you're going to be able to maybe pull out some people trying to use some tricks, like saving their creature, and you can kill it in response and stuff. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 in limited, and 4 out of 5 in constructed. 3 mana, 2/3 menace. Okay, and then if it's 4 mana, manage the battlefield. If it was kicked, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste and then sacrifice it. That seems pretty good. The one turn you just get a thing, attacks, and then you have a 2/3 body left over. Limited, this card's very good. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 in limited. It's because a 3 mana 2/3 menace is reasonable, like an okay body, and then the effect can be pretty nice. And constructed might, I don't think it will ever end up being seen any place. So I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5. 5 mana flying. Whenever one or more other creatures dies, put a 1/1 counter on this guy. This ability triggers only once each turn. This effect has always been very good. Things die and it grows. And this one doesn't even need to deal damage the original Singer has to kill the creature itself. This just drinks the blood off the ground, I guess. Constructed 0 out of 5. Limited, probably very good. 4 out of 5. Will definitely win some games. 4 out of 5 in limited. Battle Rage Blessing. 2 mana. Target creature gains indestructible or death touch and indestructible until end of turn. Wow, that's cool. Limited. Constructed, unplayable. Limited. It's gonna save a thing and always trade up. 4 out of 5. I like it. Saves your creature. Always scared of these things, but the better you are, the better a card like this can be used. If you really have a solid read on what your opponent is doing. Okay, 1 mana, 1/1 flyer that pay 1 gains death touch. Constructed, unplayable, obviously, limited. It can poke away, be semi aggressive, and then trade up later. Um, yeah, 3 out of 5. Seems fine. Pretty solid playable and limited. 3 mana, 3/1, enters the battlefield, mill 3. Okay, exile this guy from your graveyard, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Alright, constructed, unplayable, limited, great. It's really good in limited because you're just going to play it at 3, block, trade, and then get some value out of it in the graveyard. 4 out of 5 in limited. Okay, next guy, Knight of the Dusk, Shadow. 2 mana, 2/2 menace. Your opponents can't gain life. That's pretty reasonable, and it can get bigger. Yeah, this card's great. Constructed, probably not good enough, but it could be. I mean, it's a human and a knight that could be relevant. The fact it has menace can get in there and be aggressive on turn 2. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 in constructed. It has potential, and then in limited, I'm gonna give it um, 3.5. I think it's a very powerful 2-drop. I like this guy. Alright, 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever creature you control dies, scry 1. It doesn't have to be just it can be any creature. Um, I think actually, if it dies, you don't get the trigger. But yeah, this card's obviously a limited card. Constructed 0 out of 5. Limited 3 out of 5. Seems fine. You're going to do some trading and stuff. Alright, let's see this card. 3 mana, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic land cards you control. Put 2 of them into your hand. So this is like draw 2, probably. 3 mana, draw 2, lose 2. This is a reasonable black thing. If you're looking at more than 3, I mean, it's never going to be like as good as Read the Bones, but it's fine. Read the Bones was a really good card in limited, got you a lot of extra value. Constructed 0 out of 5, limited 3 out of 5. I would say Read the Bones would be a 4. Splattered Goblin. This is the guy when it dies, then gets -1/-1. Okay. But this guy's a 2/1. This is 2 mana. I was thinking the Festering Goblin or whatever. This guy's better than that. But, not by much. But it can trade, kill 3 toughness cards, so that's kind of cool. I'm going to give this card 3 out of 5. In limited, 0 in constructed. Bone Splitters, 0 in constructed. Although it has seen some constructed play in history. And in limited, there seems to be a decent number of cards that want to die in black. Like, they're okay with going to the graveyard. These guys, this thing wants something to be in the graveyard. This guy can be into the graveyard. There's a lot of reanimation of cards. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 in constructed. Still going to be a 2 for 1. Or 1 for 2, but you're going to be killing their best card for 1 mana. So that's good. A Nightmare Wall, 3 mana, 2/4. Sacrifice a creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. That's good. You just alright, block with this guy as a chump blocker, sacrifice it before damage. Yeah, this card's pretty nice. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 in limited and 0 out of 5 in constructed, obviously. 3 mana, target player discards 2 cards. If the spell is kicked, it deals 3 damage to that player as well. So 4 mana, deal 3 to him and discard. Well, this is Blightning, right? So it's a 1 mana more Blightning. Huh. Constructed, probably 1, maybe. I'm going to not give it a 0. I'm going to give it a 1. And limited, I'm going to say, yeah, this card's pretty good. Minor Rot with some upside, some reach qualities. So if they don't have a hand, it's still, at least doing 3 damage to them. 3 out of 5. 3.3 out of 3.5 out of 5. Alright, Phyrexian Warhorse. 4 mana, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create a 1/1, sacrifice another creature. This guy gets +2/+1 until end of turn. I like this effect. I like that it's 2 bodies on a common. Limited, 4 out of 5. Constructed, unplayable. Okay, 4 mana, destroy target creature or planeswalker. If its mana value was 3 or less, you gain 3 life. Okay, so if you kill something small, this is good. Gains you some life. Otherwise, just destroy anything at instant speed. This is probably 5 out of 5 in limited. instant speed removal at this, you know, that also hits planeswalkers. Pretty fucking good. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. I mean, usually I put only the most premium removal and, you know, creatures that are gonna win you the game, or cards that just win you the game at 5 out of 5. And I think this is really top tier removal. Alright, tribute to Urborg. 2 mana, target creature gets -2/-2 till end of turn. If it was kicked, that creature gets an additional -1/-1 to turn for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Wow. Another very good premium removal. Because just 2 mana, 2 mana -2/-2, good. And then this kicker thing, I'm going to give this card a 4 out of 5. It seems really, really nice. Okay, Phyrexian Rager, if you ask some of my friends, my favorite creature of all time. I don't think so, but I do like this guy. 4 out of 5 in limited, pays for itself, puts a body into play, gets you a thing. I mean, yeah, 4 out of 5 in limited. Urborg Repossession, return each card from your graveyard to your hand. You gain 2 life. If the spell was kicked, return another target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh man, wow, this card's really good. It's Raise the Dead that gains you 2 life, and then for 3 mana you get 2 cards. This card seems really good. Limited, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, it's getting you 2 cards. Seems really nice. Obviously, with the caveat, you have to be kicking it. Alright. Withering Necromass. 7 mana, 5/5. This spell costs 1 less for each creature in your graveyard. Yeah, this guy's huge. I'm going to give this guy a 4 out of 5. Just a huge body. And this guy actually might see play in Constructed, so I'm going to give this guy 3 out of 5 in Constructed. Has potential. You know, in Pioneer, specifically. I think that guy could be good. 2 mana, when he enters the battlefield, you lose 2 life. Oh, it's a 3/2 for 2? Alright, Constructed, unplayable, limited. Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but, you know, it's cool that Suicide Black is back. I'll give it a 2 out of 5 in limited. Alright, Tattered whatever the hell. How do you say this? Titoan?
Apparition.
Apparition. I could have probably figured that out. Look at it. Tattered Apparition gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I mean, it's always cool to have you know, the Shade ability. Put in extra mana. This guy has flying, so it's hard to deal with. Limited 3 out of 5, maybe even higher, probably 4 out of 5, because this guy's gonna win games. And Constructed, unplayable. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I know the pre-releases are going to be coming out really soon. I think they're this weekend, so yeah, good luck to you all, and have a great rest of your day. Kick ass, take names, obtain. Peace.